every single golfer I know has been in this situation at some point, aiming at target. I'm going to tell you today why you should not be aiming at target. How on earth could this possibly be right? So, thank you so much for stopping by today. If you're brand new to this channel, a warm welcome. If you're not brand new and you're a returning viewer, welcome back. We're going to tell you today, and I'm going to talk you through the how to aim correctly and why you shouldn't be aiming at target. So for this drill, we don't actually need much. All we need is really 4 alignment sticks or just 4 golf clubs. So you can see here, the alignment stick's just like this. My first alignment stick will represent my target. So either middle of the fairway or middle of the green, or if we're being super brave, the flag. We then have our blue, which represents our target line, and then we have our yellow. Now, once we've gone through this reasons why you shouldn't aim at target and then how to align yourself to target, I'm going to tell you a little bit more of an advanced thing at the end that taking in the conditions you're playing with at a certain time can really help you lower your scores. So we've got our general setup. So the pitfall, the biggest mistake and why you shouldn't aim at target is this. Most of us golfers, let's say the grey alignment stick is our target, we'll stand here and go, right, let's get everything lined up, let's shoot towards target. Now, looking at it right here, this may seem ridiculous to you and you go, well, that's aiming way right. But what happens is, when we get a target way out in the distance, these parallel lines look like to us, they come slightly together. So that little bit of aiming these shoulders, right, that feels correct here, actually gets majority of golfers aiming way to the right. Now, if you think about this logically, what is the biggest pitfall for a lot of golfers? Well, it's that slice, it's that over-the-top move, and potentially, does that stem from when you first start learning golf, aiming too far to the right of target? It's definitely a plausible thing we've got to take into account. So the common mistake is aiming our shoulders and our body directly to target. What I want you to do is this. I want the yellow to match the yellow. So I want you to create 2 parallel lines. So you've got your target line, and then you've got your feet, hips, and shoulders line. Now I've placed you straight down towards target, I think this is going to make a lot more sense. So let's just park that alignment stick on the side for 1 second. The routine I want you to use is this, and a great way of using your golf ball to your advantage is using the golf ball on top to create your ball to target line. So I would stand there, create my target line. Now with my target straight in front of me, i.e. the alignment stick, this becomes a bit easier. But this is a great way to figure out what your tendencies are. So get ourselves aligned to target, really feel as though we've got a ball to target line. We've now got that established. All I want you to do is get into golf posture, feel as though you build your stance to get your body aiming parallel left to target. So you feel as though you keep these train tracks. Now for most of us, when we stand up from this position, it may feel as though we're aiming a little bit left. But what we've got to remember is, our golf ball is now aiming to target. If you aim your body to the target, your ball to target line very often becomes very much to the right. So a little simple routine that I would use is really feeling as though you place your club down first, start with your feet together, get the appropriate ball position for the club that you're using, and the final point with driver is just make sure that these shoulders are running parallel. With the ball being slightly up in our stance, it can tend to want to see these shoulders aim a little bit to the left. So this is a great example of being here in this setup, I couldn't do that again if I tried. I didn't think I was good enough to hit that, which is why I hit it. So as I was saying, is being able to stand there in that setup and have the confidence you know you're aiming to target. Don't stand there, and we know we've all done it. I know I'm aiming a bit to the right, but I'll hit it anyway, I'll pull it. Or I know I'm aiming a bit to the left, I'll push it back to target. Okay, bear with me. Let's talk about this final thing, that if we're taking the conditions into account, use this. Now this is really simple, but I think it's probably the last thing on most golfers' mind. Okay, let's imagine we have the wind either off the right or off the left. So if we have that wind coming off our right hand side considerably, we have to understand that we know our target's this grey, but can we move our start line and our alignment slightly to the right of target? So you would stand here, move your blue first, and then move your yellow to match. So this allows you to start the ball slightly right and move the wind and use the wind to move the ball back onto target. Now the one thing I would take into account, only small adjustments at setup make big adjustments down at target. If the wind was off the left, you'd simply just repeat this process but the opposite way round. So no matter if you have irons or driver in your hand, use that process. Establish your ball to target line first and then match your body to it. Even set up something just like that, just to give you some great awareness to where you're going to be aiming. Now, the pitfalls of this are, because you may have been aiming incorrectly for a period of time, now you're getting your body aiming correctly. If you had a tendency to aim way to the right, you may feel like you're now aiming way to the left. If you had a tendency to aim way to the left and now you're aiming straight, this may feel as though you're aiming off the planet. So use those lines, use this process just to give you some guidance on where to aim and how to aim correctly. Very often we just want the finished product, but we need to know how. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's daily tips, daily golf videos here on Alex Elliott Golf. I look forward to joining you tomorrow at around the same time. Winter's officially here, team.